Hey everybody, it's Lace, and I'm going to go over some of the R36 highlights. We've talked about all the crafting changes in a separate video, so I'm not going to go too much into the teachable, reteachable, and all that. But what I do want to show are all the visuals. There's gift box that you can buy in the store, but you can create your own gift box. So we can finally decorate around our Christmas trees this year. There's a bunch of new stuff coming into the add-on store for the Christmas trees and stuff themselves, but now you can actually set up a little gift area. You could even, do the permissions where you could have gift exchanges and all kinds of different things that you'll be able to do with these. So, because they do work like a chest or a container or something. So, if your guild wanted to do something like, the steal the gift thing where it goes around passing the boxes or something, you could lay those out and do some little games like that within your guild. Or even if you just want to, give somebody something. I don't think, because it's a container, I don't think you can put something in it and just give them the box. Unless they fix that mechanic in containers. Gosh, I sure would love if they did. I know that's probably a pain in the butt in coding because, I worked on a game a long, long time ago, and container or item and container can be a bit of cumbersome in the code to make that all work correctly. But anyway, you can still do a ton with these boxes. These are the new wreaths that you can craft on your own. I think they look pretty good. I think they'll hang on a post here. Pretty sure I hung them on some posts earlier. Well, maybe not that post apparently, but I know I did get it on a post somewhere in this thing. There it is. See, so yeah, it'll go on the post, it'll go on the walls, so it's got good placeability and stuff like that. The stockings, I just posted this bug. Somebody had posted a bug that the stockings wouldn't hang on the fireplace chimneys, kind of like they showed in the picture. And one of the devs, Scotty, he posted about this, about wall surfaces. It's either or, wall or floor, not both. And they'd love for it to be both, but it's not both, and stuff. So now it will hang here, but where I put this one before, if I move this one, I can't place it back on here anymore now. So obviously I don't want to move that. And so I sent in that bug because I'm not sure exactly. It used to hang here and not here. Now it hangs here and not here. But it seems to me you should be able to put them up on walls and stuff. You could also put them on the post. So anyway, I did put a bug in about that. I don't know if it meets the condition of it's an either or. It seems like to me if they just set this surface as quote unquote a wall, then whatever could go on a wall could go on there. But I don't know. He explained it, but I'm not sure why it can't be both in this case because we're not asking for it to be on the floor. So I don't know if this thing has now gotten its permissions changed or something, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have any problem with, yeah, this stuff is still hanging and stuff, I think. I don't think that, yeah, so it would still go on there. So this didn't get changed. I'm just not quite sure what the deal is. Hopefully they'll fix it to where you can have it both these ways, but currently it's only like on here, and then I can also put it on the edge of the fireplace here. This one's probably not, the wood and stone one's probably a little bit better because it has that wooden ledge, but it will hang on there, and of course it looks like it's going to burn up, so you probably might want to put them up here. So that's another, now I can't get it back, whatever. The other thing I'm really excited about is these topiaries that you can make. There's this pointed one, and then there's the 3 round circle ones. You can put them inside now. Yes, they're not outside only. Thank you, Darkstar, for that. I posted about it, and I knew it had been asked a few times. He asked, did it have a pot? I said, these two do, and guess what? We can now place these two inside. So decorators, rejoice! You've got some more options that don't come just from the add-on store. You can put a little green into your life. I think that kind of covers that stuff. If I, let me just go to widest skills, and I just kind of made a quick thing on the new merchant stuff. Well, it's not new. We had these before, and they were on the tailor vendor in Ardoris, these outfits, but then they went away. Well, they're back now, and they're craftable. They're tailor craftable. You can see what they look like. Like I had this shirt, and I've had it dyed black, and with a pair of black pants, and I wear that quite a lot. But this is it undyed, the basic how it looks undyed. The boots, pants, gloves, that's a whole outfit there. That is now craftable. Cloaks and wizard hats are now craftable. There's also a merchant skirt if you prefer to wear a skirt instead of pants, and things like that. So there's a bunch of new tailor recipes that came in with this stuff. I think that pretty much covers what I can show you here. Again, love the wreaths. Very cool. I kind of almost wish the bow was red, but hey, that's probably the one in the store. It's still we haven't had a lot of green unless you bought it from the store, so I can't complain. We now got this green and we got this green, and so that's good. We got some green coming into our home decor and stuff. Let me show you one more thing. I'll be right back. Okay, I just wandered out into off the side of my POT, the Gust Ball Field. POT owners rejoice. You do not have to put this on a lot. You can put it out in your POT anywhere, and the folks can play with it. I think there's a few little issues with it that I heard somebody mention. For me, when you go to put it, it's not mowing the trees down. Not a big deal. I found a place to put it. POT owners, you can throw up your little grandstands and stuff. For those who don't know what Gust Ball is, basically I don't have one on me, but you have two teams and it's basically soccer in the game, and that's the original intent of the Gust Ball, not to train skills, but to play on a field. So anyway, they had laid out what a regulation size Gust Ball field was. Many POTs have painstakingly created something like this in some fashion. To a regulation size, and the Gust Ball League goes around and plays in different places. I guess your referee goes up there and stuff. So now maybe more people will get involved in Gust Ball, and many, many more POTs that didn't have a lot that they could afford to pay taxes on or whatever to lay it out. But yeah, you can put your bleachers up there. You're not going to be able to, you can put a few plants and stuff around here, depending on what your decorating limits are in your POT. They probably won't look as pretty as the dedicated lot ones, but for folks that don't have the land size in their POT but would like to host a Gust Ball field or just have one to play around on, yay, you can make it. And this is what it looks like. And I think it's pretty awesome that we have this and that it's POT placeable. So I just got an answer back on the bug that I had about the stockings and their placing, and they're saying them being on the wall was a bug, that they're only supposed to be here. So you might want to be careful, and I asked them, if that's how they're going to make it, then they better put that disclaimer on the add-on store, because I think folks might get a little upset if they buy the stockings from the add-on store and they can only put them on a fireplace. That's pretty limiting. Maybe they'll change their minds on that or put that disclaimer in there. So maybe that's a little buyer beware on the stocking thing. Apparently, it's not supposed to be able to go on the wall. It can only go there. So you might want to check on that on the forums and stuff before you make that purchase. Also in this release, there's a lot of polish and stuff and some, cleanup in different various towns and scenes and stuff. I'm not going to go through those one by one, but what they are doing is allowing things like this, which are your quest items, to be stored in your bank. You cannot put them in containers, is what they said, because of the no trade and all that, but you could put them in your bank. So if I try to do that, yeah, I can't. But what you can put in your containers is, I found you were able to put your old raffle tickets in there. Some people had said, hey, they'd like to keep those. They're hoping they'll be placeable or they're going to do something with them. You can stick those in the trunk, and you can stick your quest items in the bank. This is particularly useful for me because I'm trying not to do quests, but I've, started a few here and there because I'm kind of trying to wait till the end to really do the quests. I think they've said they were going to reset them, but I'm still just trying to keep it fresh for myself. So this will be great. Any of the little things that I've picked up like this, I can cram in the bank. There are a lot of combat changes coming up, and Chris has posted some pretty lengthy posts on the forums. I would take a look at those because I can't really do it justice since I'm not a dev or anything. So probably just reading it straight from the horse's mouth is going to be your best bet. I'm getting ready to and that's going to be the resistances and stuff. And I guess I should point out if your POT has a magic vendor like this one does, they're basically the same thing as an alchemist that you'd find in your NPC towns. They're going to have all your new recipes for the ward stones, which instead of, when you socket something before, you'd use a particular gem or whatever, and it'd give you attunement. Attunement basically makes your stuff a little more powerful. Attunement also builds naturally the more levels you put into more skills in that tree, but then you can get a little more attunement You know, if your sword's socketed with that, and then when you're enchanting it, it could proc one of the, one of the skills off the skill trees on that. It's my understanding the ward stones will also do that, but instead of attunement, they're going to give you resistance to that element. So if I socketed something with fire, I'm going to be more fire resistant. Now there are skills that make you more resistant to a particular type of school, elemental school, I guess you could call it, but you would have to train those. Well, this would be another way to boost that. So you'll have to make choices are, do I want to be more offensive by going basically attunement, maybe on my chest, weapon, shield, kind of thing, or do I want to be more resistant where other players can't hurt me as bad, or mobs hurt me as bad who use that school of magic. So that's going to lead to some more interesting builds for PvP folks especially, or situational type of gear. Talking about gear, remember you can hit Y and have different sets of armor and stuff that you might have one that's a fire resistant set of armor skills or whatever, and you can build decks separately. That's covered in other videos, but so now you could probably build a resist set or something, fire resist set if you're going for that one, one dragon that uses fire or something like that. So keep that in mind. I'm getting ready to head outside because I want to talk about some of the visual changes on the overland map for POTs and stuff, and I will meet you on the other side. Okay, so we're just outside, Diamond Fields connects to Port Phoenix, which is over here. And you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. You can see 5 buildings over here. You can see 1 building and some pads there that are empty. And then over here we can see 2 buildings, 3 pads, 2 buildings, 3 pads. So this is kind of showing you how many people are currently living there. As it goes to its capacity. I'm not sure that it's giving you a visual indicator that this is a metropolis or something like that. I might have to rove around the map a little to figure that out. Also, there's supposed to be visual indicators with smoke coming out the chimneys or lights on if people are currently inside that town at that moment. But that's some of the new visual indicators on the overland map. So you can see relatively how full that POT is. So if you're looking for a place to live, and again, this is only going to be the ones on the overland map. You're not going to have any indication of the sub-POTs located within them, at least not at this time. But on the overland map, you can kind of see some populations. I think we got a few more POTs over here. Here's one. It's got, 3 and 2 pads open, so it's kind of mediumly populated. Here's one. What do we got? This one looks like it's got 4 and maybe 1 pad. I can't see the pad in the shade of the trees right now, but there you go. And then this one's, obviously a low population there currently and stuff like that. So it gives you an idea of how many people live in that town. So if you want a non-crowded town, or if you want a crowded town, or whatever, that can give you some ideas on shopping for a POT. Now each POT may have restrictions. You have to be in their guild, you have to do decorations a certain way, you can only have certain kinds of houses and stuff, and you'll have to contact the governors individually to find that kind of stuff out. But that's one of the new features that they've added for the POTs. Also, all the POTs now have exits at all their exit points, all their possible locations of exit points, so that, let's say you're in a really big metropolis and you're not near the entrance point, you're way out there because it's a huge amount of land that can be developed, and you're out on an island and way back there. Well, somewhere back there, there's going to be an exit for you to make it more convenient for you to leave. You're still going to get one spawn-in point, but at least you're going to have multiple ways to leave to where you don't have to run through the whole town again to exit out of it, especially if like you're shopping and you go through there and you're trying to shop in a POT and you're like, oh my god, I gotta run all the way back to get out of here. Well, most people are going to try to do the little cheat and start on world map. This will help alleviate that, where you don't have to do that. There's going to be multiple exits that you can find and exit through. So that should make shopping convenient. They also did that, and of course the PRTs and regular NPC towns as well, as added more exit points to the world map and stuff like that. One more thing in POT news, good news again for player-owned town owners, is tents, stages, podiums, which I kind of showed you the bleachers and stuff. We're already fitting stage stairs, and then the Cobalt Radiant Energy Coil and Capacitor. All these things are now POT placeable within the POT without having to be on a lot. So if you want to have an area for meetings, you can put a little stage up with a podium and some bleachers, and you could have guild meetings out in the middle of the forest if you wanted, or something like that if you want to set up a stage and for impromptu reading in the woods or something. You could do things like that. So anyway, it gives you some more options and will help fill out and bring to life a POT. So a lot of folks should be happy about that as well. In the Make a Difference store for the water.org, there's a new ornate outhouse. It's painted and stuff. It's whitewashed instead of the plain wood, so I think a lot of people are going to like that as well. There's more stuff in the add-on store. There's more houses and stuff, and then of course all the holiday stuff from stockings to menorahs, gift boxes, wreaths, fancier wreaths and stuff like that. And I think people that want to spend some money on that deco probably will be happy about that. I love planting all the plants to see how I can use them for deco. Well, these are your grape trees. Look, we get some purple. I know there's a lot of people that like purple, so now you can get a little purple inside your house. Because remember, you can stick these after they've been planted. You can stick them inside your house. If you want to set up like a little lanai or something and have some little palms going on, look at that with the coconuts. Of course, you can pick them for the coconuts, and you can pick them for the grapes. But for me, oh wow, these are just gonna be these little palm trees. Oh yeah, I'm gonna use the hell out of them, and I'm probably gonna use some grape trees here and there. Again, I have a bunch of the other ones that I'd planted from R35 that are still just hanging out because I haven't really used them in deco yet. I have plans for them, I just haven't gotten around to it. But I did want to show you the 2 new plant seeds that you can buy, and I really love this palm. I think it's just fantastic. The grape's cute, but the palm is just awesome looking. I love that. I love that plant. Some of you people will be growing them for their actual uses, coconut bras. I don't know if there'll be any other kind of coconut things. We got the Dragonhorn drinking mug. Maybe we can have the Gilligan's Island coconut drinking mug. Anyway, wanted to show you those real quick. There's a couple more things. They said they fixed the auto stacking, so everybody should rejoice about that. You won't have 5 stacks of whatever it is. And they're supposed to sped up the bank. Let's go check that real quick, and I'll be right back. Because I have a couple POTs on this character, she usually loads really slow. I click the banker. It's usually slow the first time, and the second time in the same play sessions is fine. But yeah, no, I didn't really notice a change quite yet on that. Maybe it's not in on this particular build that I'm in. But they are supposed to have, fine-tuned that, and then giving you the ability to choose where you can save some of your files, like your songs and screenshots are moved. And so if you think your screenshots aren't there, they're probably in a different folder. Read the patch notes for that full information. So just be aware of that as well. Next thing to go over is how do you teach recipes? Well, it took me a little bit to discover it because it wasn't exactly explained, but basically you'll initiate a trade with another player, just like normal. You won't be doing it from your inventory. You're going to hit B for book, go into whatever type of recipes that you're trying to teach them. I'm going to pretend it's armor, and what you do is, you look for the reteachable or whatever, and you're going to drag from the little icon, like the booty icon, and that should drag that in. Now, I already taught this particular character these other ones. Let's see. So it's not letting me. So if I've already taught it, now, unfortunately, to this player, I have to try to drag it, and then I have to go, well, did it not drag or what? But if you've already taught them that, or they already know it, apparently it won't drag in there. So that's kind of good to know, but you don't know that it, did you mess up and it's not dragging or what? That's a little hard to tell. So I just drug that one in there, right? So it's not going to drag again. I'll put that one in there and give it to them. Now, I don't think that they have high enough craft to get this recipe, so I'm gonna do that and just do this one trade real quick and have them accept it. And I'm going to be interesting to see if that bear hat went in there, even though I know that they couldn't possibly be high enough to do that. So let me get back to you one second. Yeah, so I think that's a bug. I guess maybe you can teach them the recipe, but I don't think they're going to be able to make it because they're not high enough level. I'm going to test that out. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, they can scribe it. You can teach them the recipe, but they cannot actually craft it. The craft button does not light up, so that's good because I know that particular bear hat was you had to have a 60 proficiency, aka 72 crafting skill to actually make the bear hat. Before you could buy the recipe, but you couldn't scribe it until you had that 72 skill level. So I guess now with the new system, you can teach them that, but they're not going to be able to make it. So I'm sure that's going to hold true then for the carpentry related houses and stuff. That I can't remember, the skill level. It's in the 90s somewhere before you can make some of the houses and stuff. So that's good to know. So just going over it again, you're just going to open a trade. You're going to hit B for book because that's where your stuff's going to come in. And, you're going to pick the recipes and you just drag them in there. If they don't have the proficiency, you can still teach them, it looks like, and stuff. Um, it's a little cumbersome because I got to go pick a type and go one at a time. And for those of you, if you're doing emote trading, I can hit O for emotes. And trying to put in a emote in there, you have to go one at a time. If you got them in three things like this, you can't do a shift click and drag. You can only do one at a time. That's what makes that cumbersome. So this is pretty, yeah, it's cumbersome too because you're going to have to sit there and go one page at a time and teach them the recipes. And there's probably an item limit on how many things you can do at a time. So one of my biggest frustrations is when you're trying to give somebody something, you click yes and you sit there waiting. It's like, come on, take it so I can give you the next batch. Come on, come on, and you're waiting for them to hit that accept button to actually get them. But it looks like it works pretty well. I checked it on the second player and stuff, and they were getting the items and things. There was, I think some people said that if you got them like fancy merchant boots. Now I just bought that recipe today, but I can't teach it. That's weird. I mean, in test I just bought that, but I can't teach that. But the merchant shirt, so it looks like those ones might be a problem somehow. The fancies, maybe the fancies you just can't teach them, but the regular ones you can. I don't know how they're determining what's teachable and not reteachable and stuff. I just bought this recipe today on test. Can't teach it on test. Um, Again, I don't know if these are bugs. It's hard to say, or if they just planned it because we don't have an insight into that. Are they saying you're gonna have to just go get this recipe? Or not learn it. I'm not certain what the logic is behind it. I don't know how you can report it as a bug because you don't know. I will put up a question on it, you know. Uh, but so far, some people had said anything you bought prior or discovered, without actually buying the recipe was not going to be teachable. I don't see that to be true. It looks because this is an old iteration of my character. Um, Before my character on live bought some recipes, and so most of these ones that she has, she would have discovered, quote unquote, and they appear to be teaching just fine. The recipes she bought today, 7 of them she was able to reteach, quote, or teach. So like I just showed you that wizard hat and stuff, for unknown reasons she cannot teach those. I will post a bug report as some of these just off and they forgot to put the tags on the items because they're new items in this new system, or what. But anyway, that's how you teach. You just open a trade window, drag the icon in there one at a time. So in that really long video I did about all this, when I said, if I have to spend an hour on something trying to teach everybody, like, give me everything you've got, yeah, I'm going to expect a little tip probably because I've got to sit here for 1 hour, not hunting, not crafting, not doing anything. And that's going to sound selfish, but think about it. That's just one person you taught. Now the next guy comes in. So it's going to be very time consuming to say, give me everything you got. I think I'd be more apt to saying, hey, can you give me the tailoring recipes for these things? And boom, there you go. I give you these 5-10 recipes. Happy, not a problem. But if you ask me for 200 recipes, yeah, that's a lot of time. So just think about that when you're asking and stuff. Again, our next Grandmaster Crafting event, which is November 26th, I will give out as many recipes as I can on live and everything. No cost because I'm going to be there for those 2 hours anyway. But just think about that when you're asking people for stuff. You're asking them for their time, and you're just one person just getting one set, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people that need recipes. One last thing before I go, these stockings, I'm getting live updates from Attenwood, which is awesome. What this is now he told me it's supposed to be ledges, tables, desks. I'm not seeing it go on there. I don't know. He lied to me, I think. I'm seeing some green go on. Oh, maybe there. Oh, yeah, it's got just a barely sweet spot. But it's supposed to go on wall shelves. It's edges, basically, I guess is the correct way to say it. And there you can see he is absolutely correct. So it won't go on the wall, but if you throw up a wall shelf, you can get it, quote unquote, on your wall. So that makes me a little happier than it just being limited to the fireplace. Again, I've mentioned it 3 times about these stockings in the course of this video, but that was because I was getting information live and as I was shooting this and stuff, so I'm updating you. So there you go, wall shelves, tables, desks, it's edges, things with edges, and that's got an edge. Obviously this has got an edge, wall shelves have an edge, and stuff like that. So I hope that helps you out figuring out how to use it in deco. Can't do this, but if I have a shelf, boom, I can do that now. So that makes me a little bit happier. Unfortunately, it means I can't put them all over my little poles, but you know what? Hey, I can still do my wreaths on my poles. They'll go on my poles, so I can try to make this little crafting area very festive. Not till after Thanksgiving, because that's just bad to put up your lights before Thanksgiving. At least so some people say. But then again, they say you can't wear white after Labor Day. Whatever. So in closing, we covered some of the highlights, at least the things that I'm excited about and stuff in R36. And again, I say check Chris's official posts about all the combat stuff because he's going to say it way better than I can in a video. And I've showed you how to teach the recipes because I think that's going to be a big concern. It is cumbersome, and this is what I feared, the one at a time thing, where you don't just have a good list, you can just do a shift drag and be done with it. So, that's going to be up to folks. If somebody says, give me everything you've got, oh my God, that's going to take forever, okay? And I'm only teaching one person at a time. I can't, do it multiple. So if I tried to teach everybody that, is asking, and there's 50 people, that's 50 hours of me sitting there trying to drag spells at a time. That's a lot of playtime. So again, I'll try to do it at the Grandmaster Crafting event, like I said, on November 26th here in Diamond Fields. And because it looks like it is going to be very labor intensive, and I like to do crafting things and I like to teach the community, we will try to organize. Once a month we already do the GM crafting. We'll try to also throw in a second day where it's just about teaching. It's not about GM crafting. You just guys line up and we'll get people teaching what they can teach. We'll ask for volunteers from the community, those that are willing to teach and do what they can, and we'll just try to line some people up and just get that teaching out of there for free and stuff. But if you come to me and I'm in the middle of hunting and you're begging desperately for every recipe I've got, come on, man, give me a break. You're killing me on time. I would expect a little tip. Some people were really like, oh my God, all the players that are in early access are gonna rape the new players for asking for money for recipes. Well, they have a choice. They can go pay $250 a recipe as well. I spent most of my recipes that I have in my collection, I spent the $250 on. I didn't discover them, but I did discover a good bunch of the basics. So that's going to be everybody's decision. If you want to hate me because I think I should get paid for spending an hour of my time teaching you recipes, hate me, whatever. We'll also do some free ones where you can just come line up, but you might be standing in line for a couple hours to get that stuff for free. And so keep that in mind as well. This, of course, should incentivize guilds to organize this same thing that I'm proposing, that we'll do with our crafting events here in Diamond Fields and / Prism, whatever, to do it amongst themselves. Again, remember, this is going to spread like a virus. I teach one person. They can then start teaching some of the things, at least, to other people. The problem, again, is, like I showed you in the way the interface is, you don't know that they already have it until you try to drag it. So you're still doing the same amount of, whether they have it or not have it, you have to guess what they have, unless they're asking you very specifically for a recipe. But anyway, so now I've got to challenge other guilds, set up something also, like we're doing, where you're doing a teaching event, teach your guildies. That'll help spread the virus of the recipes. That may break the spirit of this whole, new crafting thing. And then also maybe just give a hug to all the third-party crafting sites that you've used over, the past couple years or whatever, however long they've been around, because they put a lot of work into stuff and they kind of got, screwed. So maybe just, if you know the people that run them or whatever, give them a little hug and say, hey, man, I appreciate what you did for this community for the past year and stuff. That's going to end the R36 highlights. Take care, everybody. Happy hunting and be safe.